Today, I am joined by Arron and Alex, who recently completed the Lean projects. They have kindly agreed to share their story with us. So, Arron, Alex, thank you for being here today.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah, pleased to be here and share our story.
Excellent. So, I am actually really excited about this conversation because the Lean project that you delivered is a fantastic example of how small yet smart changes can make quite a huge difference. So, shall we start from the beginning? Could you explain what the situation was at the depot when you introduced the stock list system?
Yeah. So we have a depot based at Spaghetti Junction in Birmingham, running civils projects out of there. And quite often we would find ourselves with excess materials from site, whether that be material that hasn't been used or material that's been over ordered. And that would quite often sit in our yard for a long time, wasn't really being recorded. No one quite knew what was there. And we felt that we were probably missing out because quite often this would then expire or it would sit outside for a certain period of time and then be of no use to anyone from then. The company are then paying to dispose of this material. So, we bought it, it sat here, we then disposed of it. And we thought there's got to be a better way of reusing it. And that's where we come up with the idea of maybe creating a stock list system so that other people can feed into it and we've got a good record of what we have at all times.
Now, that sounds weirdly familiar, shall I say, because I've seen so many businesses facing the same headaches when it comes to stock control. So how did the idea of creating the stock list came about in the first place?
I think we had a chat and we realised that we were losing a lot of money off the bottom line. This was due to waste, resource, lost time, and it wasn't being accounted for, and therefore nobody had ever really looked at a solution to the issue. Once obviously we realised that there was actually quite a substantial amount being lost. We realised that if we knew what we had and where it was located, that in itself would solve a lot of our issues around stock control.
So once you started, what did the system actually look like in practice? What did you change in day-to-day routine at the depot?
I think very basic to start with. Create a spreadsheet, start logging what's coming in, what's going out, working with the guys on the ground who are going to be using it to develop a system, whether it be the yard manager or the operations teams bringing things in and out, and then develop from there really. Paperwork based system, what kind of forms need to be completed, whether they're paper based or whether they are online, and then expanding further out from there of what training do we need to put together that's going to allow everyone to understand the system and how it's going to be used and how it's going to work moving forward, before a real full rollout to everyone.
And I would imagine that brought some immediate benefits, I suppose. So what were the first results you noticed?
First thing we noticed was having live visibility of what materials we had in the yard was a real game changer for us, to be honest. Being able to use existing stock as opposed to purchasing new gave us obvious cost saving opportunities, not just around in terms of doubling up on stock, but actually preventing unnecessary trips, unnecessary journeys to and from the yard, controlling waste. Some of the materials we were wasting was actually classed as hazardous, so it was costing us to dispose of them correctly. And yeah, just logistical issues that were easily avoided, which again weren't really accounted for in cost until we delved into this.
Okay, and then the big one, £25,000 in annual savings. So can you tell us where those savings came from?
Yeah, it's got a combination of a lot of things really, as opposed to one item. As Alex said there, a lot of labour costs. So you're saving on obviously the labour that we're paying out, vehicles that are being used, fuel, better utilisation of the materials that we've already paid for. Anything that's been over ordered could be used straight away. It's allowed us to be better from a reactive point of view, whether that be emergency call outs that we can now do because we have material and we know what we've got there, extras on site that can be addressed straight away. Before we'd have had downtime, and now we can address them straight away. Just an all-round more efficient way of working, we feel.
So beyond the financials, has there been any other impact on the depot or the team working there after the implementation of the system?
Yeah, significant impact. Everyone was initially a little uncertain about the new process, just like with any changes, really. But we were confident that it would work, and there needed to be a period of adjustment, which we'd get through and then feel the benefits. And once the team started seeing the time saved and the logistical challenges removed, they could really see the positive impact that this process could have, and fully embraced it, which obviously helped us bring it in nice and quick and effectively. So
that's excellent. So one of the things that I find most powerful about projects like this one is that once the benefits are there, people start asking, what else can we improve? Did you get that kind of reaction?
Yeah. I think during management meetings, people trying to come up with other ideas, leaner ways of working, but looking at what we did, the operational teams are coming to us now with this system about ways we can maybe improve it, tweak it. We have a reflow system that we use, which is all digitized, and how we can incorporate it better with that. Management side have been coming into things. We're currently rebuilding our offices. So it's how can we redevelop our depot at the same time to be a lean and more efficient way of working, whether we can put certain areas for certain things, as opposed to at the moment, it's a bit scattered all around. I think that'll be a big one over the next couple of years, maybe a redesign of how our yard works as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Now, you both went through the Lean Six Sigma course as part of this. Looking back, what lessons or tools from the training itself helped you make this project happen?
Personally, I loved how the course was centered around different ways of thinking, as opposed to there being just one linear way. And this was a frustration of both mine and Arron's for a while in terms of the project that we've implemented. And the processes and tools that we learned through the course really gave us the spark that we needed to start the project and drive its implementation into business operations.
Yeah, I agree. I think looking at things from a measurable point of view was a good one for me, because while we know what we do, and it's to be easier to show others and explain to kind of the directors within the business, if we've got actual data that we can show people and it's measurable over time, it's probably a bit easier for people outside of our circle to understand what we're doing.
So finally, to wrap this all up, if you had to give a piece of advice to someone thinking about tackling a project like this one in their own business, what would you say?
Personally, I would say gather the data to support your thoughts, and then once you have all of the information to hand, start planning how to approach the project. Once you do this and see the benefits that are achievable, it will likely give you the shot in the arm you need to get started and realise that actually it is a very achievable thing, and it will make a big impact on your business.
Yeah, totally agree. Measurable, as I said before, is a big one for me. Helps you keep track of how things are moving along, as well as being able to show others. That data and collecting the data as much as you can is really key.
Arron, Alex, I sincerely thank you for sharing this today. What I really like about your project is how practical it really is. I mean, you didn't add more layers of work. You actually made life easier at the depot and saved the company 25K along the way. And that's quite a win on all fronts, don't you think?
Yeah, we completely agree, Marcin. And I'd just like to add, thank you for your guidance and support throughout this process. Personally, I found it very enjoyable and rewarding, and I've gathered skills that I'll take away and implement into my role throughout the business.
Yeah, totally agree with Alex. Yeah, thank you very much. It's been really beneficial to all of us.
No, it was, thank you guys. It was a real pleasure to have you in a training anyway. So that goes both ways. So with that said, I guess, it was great having you both here today. Like I said earlier, have a fantastic day and I hope we can catch up soon.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you both.